Welcome to the Archotechs, a RimWorld fluid ideology series about pursuing the Archonexus. Episode 10, Terrible Treatment. To briefly recap last episode, we managed to add the human primacy meme. This meme unlocks the role of production specialist, which we've granted trust in, and that will allow him to craft and construct and general labor much faster, and to have +1 to all quality for the things that he crafts and constructs. Some comments were sort of questioning why I dropped the melee specialist, which used to be the Prime Guardian melee specialist, and the reason is you can only have 4 roles in your ideology at a time. So I decided to drop melee specialist in lieu of the production specialist. With that known, you can only have 6 people that hold roles. You can have 1 leader, 1 moral guide, and then 2 of each type of specialist. So I can have up to 2 shooting and 2 production. But currently I only have 1 production and 0 shooting. That will change. The goals for this episode are the following. Prepare for that large mechanoid swarm that follows Aladdin, the Yorkie Terrier, and that I have to accept within 3 days. And then the other thing that I would like to do is to get the throne room sort of more ready and more fit to be used. I'm a little overdue for the throne room, so make some progress there and maybe make the barracks over here a little bit nicer as well. I'd also like to have Trustin work on adding some additional weapons, perhaps. So I'm going to have Trustin do some crafting. And I'm actually going to move the electric tailor bench into my freezer for him to grind out crafting XP. I'm going to stop Sven's research into advanced fabrication and pivot towards moisture. I would like to start removing the moisture in my base so that I can travel around the base more freely and easily. And then another little project that I want to do is to haul the steel that I've managed to mine into the base. And in order to do that, I need to cancel the hauling of all of the stone chunks. So to cancel all the hauling of the stone chunks, the easiest way to do it is to go to orders, go down to haul things, right click, and cancel all designations. You can also do that for cutting plants, or harvest, or chop wood, or hunt, so on and so forth. It's a really easy way to just sort of cancel all. And that's kind of lesser known, so I figured I'd mention it. Alright, I'm going to slightly redesign my workshop a little bit, making it a little bit more efficient. And then, after I do all that, I want Bunny to start mining up components, because I don't have the components I need, or at least I think I need, for SMGs. I do want Trustin to make some heavy SMGs, hoping to get lucky for Masterworks, but if I don't, I don't. So if Bunny is going to be mining, I'm going to lower everyone else's mining priority, so that really only Bunny mines. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that I added simple meals to this food restriction, but I didn't actually. I just renamed it. So I'm adding simple meals, and that was commented a bunch. And then I'll call this zone temp weapons, where my slaves are allowed to haul weapons before, so they don't go in the room. Knowing that I am going to get royal favor if the raid against all the mechs work, one of the things that I ought to do is to queue up a bunch of these trees out here to be cut down, because in order to get a throne room, I'm going to need braziers that burn wood, which is expensive. And then I'm also going to need a harp, which costs wood. So I'm going to have fairly high demands for wood soon. And I will research tree farming to be able to supplement the wood that I need. But for now, just queuing to cut down the cactus. That will be fine. Okay, there. That's probably just about all the cacti. Another thing that I'd like to change is the limestone blocks made by slaves only and dropped on the floor. The any blocks dropped on the floor, slaves only. I think you get the trend here. Only have slaves do stone cutting. I want colonists like Bunny to work on something sort of more important. All right. So Trustin is going to do a little bit of construction, and then I'm going to have him start crafting and work on some of the crafting goals that I've got. I'm going to lay out the slave barracks a little bit nicer with a light, although I can't move the beds while they're using them, but they'll get moved eventually. When Sven ranks up, he's going to want a throne room, so I'm trying to work on the throne room, and then he's also going to want a bedroom that doesn't have work facilities. So the high-tech research bench is a work facility, which means that this X bedroom won't work. Hey, Bunny, I have a slave starting a fire spree. Here, Trustin, you come down here, too. I don't want the slave punching off my nose. Okay. Slave is downed. And I will tend Bunny with no beds. The slave, surprisingly enough, didn't lose any body parts, so lucky him. And that's because we have a pyromaniac slave, slave 4. One I do hope to donate to the Royals for honor. That would be phenomenal if I got a caravan for that. Oh, Trustin also needs treatment. Bunny, just tend to him. It doesn't really matter the quality. He's barely hurt at all. Got punched once. Alright, well that's a minor setback, but I think we'll be fine. So this going there. I'm not going to saddle Trustin with too many more tasks. All right, so there is the slave barracks minus one bed all laid out with a light. The light is so that we can administer medicine faster and more efficiently and all that. Also, if I absolutely need to, I can use this as sort of a triage area because those beds are pretty decent. Another thing I'd like to queue up is shelving. And these shelves are going to contain the material in order to make components and advanced components. Alright, so now we have 2 days left to accept it. And I'll actually probably accept it over tomorrow or in 2 days' time in the morning. And Trustin's already fully healed. Bunny is getting there. Her nose really did get punched pretty hard, but she'll recover pretty soon. Alright, Bunny, I have another task for you. I want you to get components this week. Taking a look. Let's feed you a fine meal. Have you drink some tea, perhaps. to lessen the pain, dull the pain, and then get you to mine components for us. Great. And those components are going to go to SMGs that Trustin can construct. So let's work at that now. Oh, Bunny, you mined 2 of them and then you came back. That's disappointing. Should have been watching her and queuing up a whole bunch more than that so that she wouldn't do that. It's definitely a waste of running around. Because now Trustin has to go all the way out there to grab the components, but because he's not allowed to haul due to his production specialist, he has to sort of make his own trip. Very, very inefficient. Oh no, I'm wrong. He grabbed all 4. Cool. So now I'm queuing Bunny up to mine the bulk here. So with any luck, this will be a Masterwork heavy SMG, but even if it's not, even if it's excellent, it's still an upgrade for Sven, who's at good quality. Check on Bunny. Yeah, she's just fine. Try to get her to get as many as she's able. So, unfortunately, yeah, that was only good quality. So that was, like, worst case scenario. It was the worst possible SMG that we could have. So, Trustin, what I'm going to do with you is... Oh, man, there's actually not something... Make the conduits. Work on construction. So, if Trustin's priority is construction, let me set these shelves up then. I don't want him running all the way out here when Bunny can just bring that stuff home. That's a waste of an afternoon. So this shelf here is going to be for steel. This shelf for gold. One of the things that you have to do immediately when you build this stuff is to make sure that you clear the priorities, because weapons by default go on these shelves. So if you don't fix that, what ends up happening is you will put weapons on these shelves from your stockpile, and then because there's weapons in the room, your slaves will revolt at a higher likelihood, which is dangerous, very, very dangerous. You don't want to do that. So anytime you're making a shelf, be careful about that when you have slaves in your colony, because you could be designing your colony to cause slave rebellions if you're not careful. So let's go ahead and carry all of these components. So load. And load. And send her home. Great. I definitely need to research either geothermal to hit this geyser, or solar or something, because wind only doesn't really work all that well. When the wind dies, all the power to my colony sort of drops out. Not that useful. All right, here Trustin is with the smelter. As I was saying, I don't have a lot of power in the colony, and he makes a smelter. So I'm going to install some dead powers to be able to turn off the smelter remotely. And I think we're going to fix some of the walls here. Yep. And the next big project is going to be to get the limestone floors in the throne room. So I'll start to set that up. And I have 24 hours to accept the quest to protect Aladdin the Yorkie. I'm going to go ahead and accept this now. I'm going to accept it for honor, for Sven. And the Yorkie is going to come in. So let me set up a animal sleeping spot. One of them. And the zone where I want the Yorkie, I'm going to make the Yorkie stay here. And then this Yorkie will be zone restricted and not given meds because it's only here for 23 hours. So 23 hours is not enough for its blood rot to progress to a fatal level. And let's check who we have. So we have Tussock, Pyromaniac kind. Hopefully they don't start setting things on fire. Basina, Teetotaler, Psychic Death, Psychopath. Parsos, who's a wimp, so that's very good to know. I'm going to put him at the end of the list because he's a wimp. He's more likely to collapse. Sidones, Sickly Body Modder Kind, and Rusmos, Chemical Interest, Trigger Happy, Tortured Artist. I'm also going to spend some time with Zleb training this Aladdin here. Just for the animal training skill, to level up my skill level. And let's stick them on the avoid zone, so they don't walk into the mech cluster. Now, if I'm really, really evil, which of course I am, I in an ideal world want all 5 of these champions to collapse but not die, so that I can rescue them for the goodwill that I would get with the Shattered Empire. So if I can sort of min-max it so that they, collapse a little, that's exactly what I would like to have happen. So now in the next 22 hours, I will have attacked 3 times by mechanoids. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of good weapons or armor on me, so I have to be very, very careful about this. I am most assuredly vulnerable. I don't have flak vests yet, I don't have helmets yet. But thankfully, I have 5 champions with shield belts, so that's going to help me a lot. Right, Trustin is trying to make another heavy SMG. And then what I'm going to do right now, in fact, is to do a role change for Zleb to become a shooting specialist, Prime Guardian. I'm going to have all of my guests attend this role change because they don't work otherwise. And this will disable cooking, construction, grow, mine, plant, cut, smith, tailor, and craft for Zleb, which is fine because Zleb can't really do that anyway. Construct, no. Mine, no. Cook, no. Craft, no. I mean, all those things that makes Zleb incapable of that work doesn't matter at all, because Zleb wasn't capable of that work anyway. It was like she was made to be a shooting specialist. So, we'll get that underway. Sven's almost done researching the moisture pumps, which will allow me to start removing the soft sand that is ruining my civic planning. Trustin is hoping, or I'm hoping, to get another masterwork rifle, if possible. Another thing that I should paint ahead of time, we are going to have a lot of raids coming in, which means that it is going to put any one of my colonists at risk, whoever's like in the base at home. So I'm going to set up a zone called Inside, so that once the first raid shows up, I can order all of my slaves to stay indoors where it is safe. I don't want them dying. Just because they're slaves doesn't mean I want them dead, because each slave is money. Each slave is honor that I could donate to a caravan. So we'll try to keep them alive as best I can. Now, until that first raid shows up, obviously I'm going to have these slaves be hauling steel and wood for me. So there's the role change, and now Zleb here has Marksman Command, which boosts the accuracy and reduces the aim timing of everybody around. I don't want to tame the other wildlife, so I'm going to cancel all that. Zleb only should be taming or training Aladdin just for the animal skill. Moisture pumps are done. The next thing I'm going to research is harp. Harps is one of the first things I'm going to need in the throne room when the throne room is ready. And we have a masterwork rifle. So this masterwork rifle is going to go to Sven because he needs the accuracy help. Or actually, you know what? It's going to go to Zleb. Zleb is the shooting specialist. I'll go to Zleb. Zleb will be able to share Marksman Command and give extra accuracy to Sven when he needs it anyway. Oh, I don't know about Bunny being this close to the edge of the map. Makes me uncomfortable because the mechs could zone in from the edge right on top of her. And luckily, she's tough, but like, even still, pikemen and lancers and centipedes. I'm probably not going to get any centipedes, but pikemen and lancers don't mess around. They hit pretty hard. So I'm going to try to get her done. 15 hours, 3 mech raids. That sounds horrifying. It's actually not a lot of mechs, but it's just a sustained attack, which makes it interesting and dynamic and difficult. I kind of like it. Call me a masochist, but I like it. All right, so she's done mining the components, and I'm not going to have her go out there for a bit because it's not really safe for her to be out there. Oh, and we got a masterwork cloth chair that I'm just doing to make my dining room more impressive. Another thing I'm going to do is to schedule all of my champions to sleep if they want it. So that they're well rested for when the attacks do show up. I have no idea when that will be, but they might as well be well slept for it. I'm a little tempted to do the same thing with everybody else. Yeah, let me do that with everybody else. All the non-slaves. Well, you can finish all. Because it seems like this is going to be a night attack, which really sucks, because fighting mechs at night gives the mechs an advantage. Mechs don't slow down movement speed at night, but humans do, so we are at a natural disadvantage against the mechs if we're doing a night fight. But seeing that it's 4 p.m. and none of the mechs have shown up yet, and it's already been almost 12 hours, or yeah, now it's been 12 hours, my guess they're all stacked up at the end, and it's going to be real nasty. We gotta prepare ourselves for something real nasty. So getting into the sleep. Another trick up my sleeve is the Insanity Lance that Bunny has. I preferably would not like to burn it in this fight, but if I have to, I have to. I'm not going to keep it safe for a rainy day if today is in fact that rainy day. Man, 3 attacks in 9 hours is what it looks like now. Max, what are you going to do to me? 3 attacks at 1. Okay, here's the first one. It's Breachers from the west. 2 Scythers, a Lancer, 3 Pikemen, and a Termite. Without wasting any time, I'm going to hit Marksman Command and send everybody out west to go for it. The reason why I'm not waiting for them to get to me is A, they're Breachers, which means that they are going to shred my walls if they get close, and B, I want to kill them as soon as I can so that I can be ready for the next fight as soon as I can, because it seems like with only 8 hours left, I'm going to get overlapping raids if I take my time. Slaves go inside. I don't want slaves dying during this fight. And I want my shield belt wearers to sort of rush the mechs in a second here. Alright, let's rush. I want them to be first shot at, right? So as soon as they're in range, which is just about now, open fire on the termite, and then pan out and try to engage all of their ranged, because I don't want my colonist. Yeah, exactly that. I don't want my colonist shot at. Ooh, very good shots. So far, okay, this pikeman is aiming at my colonists. And it hit Trustin in the leg. So I'm going to have Rusmos. No, we're good. I'm going to have Rusmos close the distance to that pikeman, stopping it from being able to do any more ranged attacks on Trustin. Which now it hits Lev. Oh, Paros is downed, because Paros is a wimp. Wow, that's a phenomenal shattering the brain. Dang. And then we quickly downed the Lancer, because that was going to be a problem. Parosos here, I am not going to rescue. Oh, you know what? He doesn't have any bleeds. So never mind, I'm not going to be able to min-max that. Ow! Come on, Rusmos. Close the distance. Sleb just got shot again. Nearly losing that arm. 1 out of 30, so that's basically a non-functional arm. Bunny is going to immediately breach health, and Sven's going to stop Trustin's bleeds. So, taking a look at them, they're a little worse for wear. I didn't end up using my Insanity Lance, for better or for worse. I'm going to have these guys, the healthy ones are going to go back and fall asleep, and then the injured ones are going to get ready for some additional love. And then Bunny is going to rescue Parsenos. So, not ideal. I let the pikeman shoot at me far more than I probably should have. Now everyone's getting patched up, and I'm probably going to get another attack very, very soon. We have 6 hours left and 2 mech attacks, so they probably coming in just a second or two. There's the other one, or another one. Breachers from the north. Basically the same raid. Same exact raid. So, Tusik, Rosmos, come north. Parsos is just gonna lay there. I really can't do anything about that. I can start tending to him, but that's about all I can do. And I'm gonna try to not get my my ranged guys shot at. Unfortunately, they just kept not hitting Bunny. Bunny is tough, so she would have been a little bit more damage resistant, but she wasn't the target. So now we're down to 4 brawlers. And 4 shooters. And it looks like they're heading sort of eastward a little bit, so I'm going to try to cut them off. I don't want them hitting my walls or anything like that. I'll probably be using the Insanity Lance to close the distance here. Almost certainly. Okay, so Insanity Lance has been used. I'm going to have Rusmos and Tusik go for their pikes. And all of my shooters are going to close the distance. Now, they're mostly going to be sort of engaged, defending against the Scyther that I turned. So this gives me an opportunity to get close and kill off the annoying... Oh, no, the Scythers are dead. Kill off the ones I don't want to fight. That's what I was going to say. Oh, no, that's the Lancer down. Okay. Let's split up a little bit, because the termite is unmitigated. Okay, it's dead. Get closer. The pikeman might be aiming at me. I'm not sure who it's aiming at. No, it's aiming at Rasmus. Okay. That's fine. And now everybody after that pike. Another thing I'm going to need is a spot to store all of these mech corpses. So I'm going to put the mech corpses next to the machining table. Alright, well these guys are all sorts of messed up. Now on this last attack, I would like the royals to collapse. I would like to have to rescue them. The more I have to rescue them, the better. So in that fight, I only got thumped once. I was a little bit more careful. So Sven got thumped. These guys obviously took a beating, but that's by design. So Basina, I want you to reset to center. And I think the rest of them need metal. Oh no, Sidones, reset to center. Rasmus and Tussock, I need to render some aid. Zleb and Bunny reset to center. And Parsos is up, so he's going to grab his Gladius. Obviously, that means he gets to get his weapon back. But that's fine. He's a wimp. That's why he collapsed. And you reset to center. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. Alright, so we have 2 hours left, and definitely the last attack is imminent any moment now. I have stopped the bleeding of these guys, which might be to my disadvantage, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to maximize the damage that the Guardians here take, so that I get to rescue them for goodwill. We are evil after all, are we not? It's too bad they didn't come with Go Juice or anything like that to be able to speed them up, because that would definitely help you. Alright, so reset all the fighters to center. We're ready to dispatch when the time comes. Any second now. No, Parsos still needs treatment. Sven, you do that. And here it is. Breachers from the southeast. Pretty much the same 3 raids in a row. And then the shuttle arriving for Aladdin. Now, I'm not going to put the Aladdin in the shuttle just yet, because if I put Aladdin in the shuttle right now, these 5 Guardians would not become... They would become guests, and I would lose the ability to control them, which would be bad. I'm also, because I have a break risk for Rasmus... Rasmus, you're really not moving anywhere, but Slave 4, or Slave 1, activate the Pulsar, the Soother. Now, another thing to note is that there's a mech cluster here, which is going to shred me if I get too close. So I gotta be careful about positioning as well. God, Rasmus is so slow. His legs got shut up badly. I'm going to allow the mechs to get closer to me this time, because I don't want to fight in the cluster territory. That would be a bad problem. let them get a little bit closer. And Alright, let's go. Alright, same deal. I'm gonna lance the Scyther, and then try to close the distance with the Brawlers. Unfortunately, these pikemen are inside the cluster territory, but I'm just out of... I'm out of winter. Okay, so this is actually really good, because all that's left is the Scyther and the pikemen, which means my colonists can go inside. I'm dismissing them now. I'm going to try to maximize the damage that these guys take to the mech cluster, or rather to the mechs. And I'm going to dismiss the rest of everybody else. So, it's evil, but I'm gonna order them to get shot. Like this. And then when they're knocked unconscious, I can rescue them for reward. I know it's a little strange. I know it's very strange, in fact, but that's min-maxing for you. Evil min-maxing. Oh, one thing I'm going to want to do is to get a smoke launcher so that I can take out the mech cluster here to allow for... Man, these pikes are really inaccurate. To allow for the bestower to arrive. I think what I'm going to do is put Rasmus... Well, no, I don't want him to bash them. Alright, so let's hide these guys and let the pikes shoot Rasmus. So Sven's back to 100%. Blood's going to take a while because that arm really took a beating. Don't hit my wound here. They're so dreadfully inefficient at this. Now they're shooting each other. Now I can't have them beat on each other because then I'm to blame. So I really do have to have them knock each other out. This is pretty miserable. The other way to do it is to get them to punch Rasmus. So maybe I'll try that. I'll queue up movements around and see if the pikeman can headbutt him. Have this go a little bit smoothly. Come on, just knock him out. Knock him out, please. Yeah, this is definitely the way to go. Because those shield belts just aren't getting broken. Alright, so Rasmus is down. And just a little reminder, why I'm doing this, the more people that I get downed like this, I get credit for goodwill when I rescue them. So I'm trying to down all of my guardians here so that I get credit for their rescue. And I will, again, remind you, we are an evil society that cares nothing about anyone else but our trio. So this is what that looks like. Ordering troops to march pointlessly into their own peril. But getting headbutted by the mechanoids pretty much ensures that we don't die. Here, I'm gonna try to... Come on, just punch me. Just punch me. Butt me. Butt me unconscious. And if they die, they die. Oh, Trustin just got infected. That's not good. Trusty boy. Bad rest, and I'll have Sven tend to you. Let's tend to you initially with just purpose. Okay, so Tussock is down. Sidones is next. These guys might get up quickly. I'm gonna... Hopefully that won't happen, but we'll see. or they're shooting at my wall now. That's hilarious, because they are technically breachers, so that makes sense. Well, Sidehounds is getting beat up pretty quick. Much faster than the other two. Oh, shield's broken. They actually hit me enough. Alright, so he's down. Parsos should be really easy because he's a wimp. So I'm also going to send Basina out here at the same time. Because I also want them to not... I don't want to have to fight too many of these pikemen by myself. So... Did we... Okay, we tended to him... It's not very high quality, but he'll have to do. So let's get my shooters back out here. So we can put an end to this. Oh, okay. Slaves, your turn to tank. I'm not tanking. The slaves will. So they're all knocked out, which is exactly what I wanted to do. There's only 2 left. And we're going to go tie them up with the slaves so I can take them out more easily. No, shoot the pikemen, not Sidehounds. Okay, cool. So at this point, all I have to do is change the schedule here to slaves on slaves, us on a void, them on a void, load up Aladdin as fast as I can, so that, I guess, slave 2, that's it. And then as soon as Aladdin is loaded up, I can then rescue all of these downed soldiers for the maximum amount of goodwill. It's evil as hell, but it is efficient as hell. So, Parsos. Well, with any luck, Parsos will walk into the mech cluster, and I still will get to do that. He's a wimp, so he got up pretty easily. So, looking at the bleed out timers, making sure that nobody's at risk for getting up too soon. And Bunny, you can go rest. So we have 5 people to rescue and send. And now these guys are guests, so rescue, 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 rescue. Also, their weapons can be melted down for whatever reason I want. The good ones are bio-coded, so the bad ones can be melted down. The quest is completed, and that means that I am eligible for the Acolyte Ceremony. And that is where I'm going to end. Thank you for watching episode 10 of the Archotechs Terrible Treatment. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I want to apologize for the microphone quality in this episode. I recorded it and then realized in post that it could have been better, and I'll troubleshoot it for next episode. If you'd like to chat with me in real time, Rhadamant.com and the description of this video has links to Discord. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope to catch you next episode or in the comments. Farewell.